My name is Renuka Govindarajan, and I will be your trainer for today's session. I am a product expert in Network Configuration Manager, and I've been with Manage Engine for quite a few years. So let me tell you the agenda for today's session. In today's session, we'll be talking about configlets and how they're used. We'll also be talking about how you can stay compliant to standards like Cisco, iOS, HIPAA, SOX, PCI. We'll also be talking about role-based access control, and then we can discuss schedules, configuration search, reports, and integrations. Currently, we are using NCM build number 12.4.163. If you are not on the same build as us, kindly upgrade to the latest version. So let's begin the session. So configlets. What are configlets? Configlets are executable script templates, and when they are applied to devices, they will execute the commands in a sequence. So what are these configlets used for? Configlets are used to fix faulty devices in your network. Malfunctioning devices can be fixed from within NCM, and the telnet or putty is not required. You can also execute changes and other network operations in the devices using configlets. In Network Configuration Manager, we have default commands for several operations. You can also add a configlet based on your own requirements. So yeah, there are three modes which you can use to add configlets. They are file transfer mode, script execution mode, and advanced script execution mode. These modes are based on now how the commands are executed in your device. So first let us discuss script execution. Script execution mode is where you push a configlet to multiple devices at one go, and the command gets executed in a sequence. So certain examples for script execution mode are SNMP enabling, disabling, or firmware image uploading, downloading, etc. So to identify the commands, you can use this. On the left-hand side, you have the commands that will be manually executed on a telnet or a putty, and on the right-hand side, you can see the commands that will be present in a configlet. So if you are creating commands using script execution mode, this is how you will have to identify which command should be present in the configlet. So the command you enter in the telnet will be the same command that will be executed using the configlet. So let me show this to you in the UI. So just a minute, guys. So this is the UI of Network Configuration Manager, and here you can see all the devices listed. In order to access configlets, go to Settings and click on Configlets. Here, you will be able to see all the configlets present. So these are the configlets created by our device experts. So if you wish to create a new configure from scratch, all you have to do is click on Add. Here you have to provide the name, the mode of execution, description if needed, the configlet content, and click on Save. So this is how you're going to create a configlet from scratch. So let me show you an example, an existing example for script execution mode. So here is an example for script execution mode. And the name of the configlet is Cisco change password script. So the execution mode is script execution mode, as you may see. The description is changing password for Cisco devices. So we are going to use this configlet to change password for all the Cisco devices. In the configlet content, you'll be able to see the commands which will be executed in the devices. You can enable this option if you wish to take a backup of your configuration before or after template execution. Once you're done with your configlet content, you can click on Save. In order to execute this configlet, that is, if you wish to apply this configlet on devices, all you have to do is click on the Execute option. So here, if the value is same for all the devices, let's say you're gonna create a new password, and if it's same for all the Cisco devices, you can type the new password here. But if a value is different for each device, you can import a CSV file which contains all the devices along with the values. So for this, you have to make sure that the format is resource level followed by syslog server IP. Yeah. So yeah, once you provide the password, you can select the devices on which you wish to change the password. So in these devices, you will be able to execute this configlet. You can also select device groups as a whole. So device groups are nothing but a group of devices. So let's say if there are Cisco devices, so here's Cisco router group, and this will contain all the devices which belong to Cisco router. So you can proceed by clicking execute, and this configlet will be executed in the particular devices. So the next mode is advanced script execution mode. The scenarios where advanced script execution mode is required are for commands that prompt user confirmation, that is, if some command requires a yes or no confirmation from the user, or when the prompt changes after a command execution. When command execution takes more time, you may need to extend timeout for a particular command. So in that case, you can use the advanced script execution mode. Also, if you want to stop command execution in case of any error in the middle, you can use the advanced script execution mode. Also, if you wish to change the flow in which the commands are executed, you can use the advanced execution mode. So yeah, here you can see on the left-hand side the commands which will be appearing on your terminal or putty, and you can use the same commands for your configure content. So yeah, I'll show you an example for advanced execution mode. So here's an example for advanced execution mode. The name of the catalyst, the name of the configlet is Catalyst 2900 backup image. So the mode is advanced script execution mode, and this configlet is used to back up iOS image from Catalyst 2900. So here you can see the configlet content, the timeout value, and when the command should be executed, etc. So once you're sure of the configlet content, you can click on save. Also, you can just edit it by, you can edit this anytime and click on save. So let us execute this particular configlet. So here you can provide the values, and if it's a different value, you can import a CSV file. You can associate devices on which you wish to apply this configlet. Also, if you want to choose device groups, you can do so by choosing from the drop down and click on execute. So that's all about advanced script execution mode. Let us move on to file transfer mode. File transfer mode is the last part of the configlets, and file transfer mode can be very useful if you wish to push a particular configuration file to any particular device. So let me show you an example for file transfer mode. Here's an example for file transfer mode, and here you are going to upload the startup configuration to devices. So in the configure content, all you have to do is paste the configuration which you wish to upload, and you can click on save. And the execution is same as the execution for other configure modes. So if it's the same value, you can provide the same values, but if there are different values, you can import CSV file. So once that is done, you can associate devices, and you can also select device groups. Once you're sure of it, you can click on execute. So that's all about file transfer mode. And you can see all the configlets which are executed by going to the execution history. Here you can see the status of every configlet, whether it's completed or if it's not completed. Also, you can import it in the PSP, you can import it in the form of PDF. So sometimes you may not require certain configlets. In that case, all you have to do is click on the delete icon, and you can also schedule configlets. For example, if you don't wish to execute a configlet right away, you can provide the schedule option. So you just have to provide the necessary values and give a schedule time. So at the particular schedule time, the configlet will be automatically executed. Sometimes there will be scenarios where certain configlet might be executed on a particular device again and again. Let us say you have a router and you have to keep uploading some image again and again. In that case, you can add it to the snapshot page of that particular device, so you don't have to come to configlets and execute it. Directly from the snapshot page, you can execute it. So in order to add configlets to the snapshot page, select the configlets and click on add to snapshot. So you have to provide the vendor and the device template name and click on add to snapshot. So let me tell you how you can go and see this. Go to the inventory, devices, and we are going to check the snapshot page of this device. And click on the hamburger icon here. Click on configlet actions. Here you can see all the configlets which have been associated with this particular device. So you can directly execute the configlet directly from here. So yeah, that's all about configlets. Oh, there's one more thing which I want to tell you about configlets. So there are device template pages for, device template pages carry vendor specific configuration commands. You can add the configlets to the vendor specific pages also. Yeah, so that's all about configlets. Let's move on to compliance. Compliance. So in compliance, we'll see why compliance is required. If you stay compliant to industry standards, then you can be free from vulnerabilities and loopholes. By staying compliant to industry standards, you can also avoid legal issues. The default policies available in Network Configuration Manager are Cisco, HIPAA, SOX, PCI, etc. You can also create custom policies based on your network requirements. In Network Configuration Manager, to create custom policies, you have to create a custom role. You can group the custom role into rule groups and then group the rule groups into policies. So to create a custom role, you can do two things. You can clone an existing role or add a rule from scratch. When you add a rule, specify the criteria such as simple criteria, advanced criteria, and advanced custom criteria. These criteria are based on how the condition is set for each of these roles. So I will explain to you in detail. The first one is simple criteria. Simple criteria is used when you only have a condition to define, or whether a particular rule should contain or shouldn't contain a particular string or an exact set. You can also determine the number of times you wish to execute a particular string. So yeah, let me show this to you in the UI so you will be able to understand it better. So go to compliance. And here you can see all the default policies and the policies which we've added. So in order to create a rule, go to rules and click on the plus symbol. Here you can create a rule from scratch. So let me tell you an example for simple criteria. So here's an example for simple criteria, and we are giving the command rule as should contain, should not contain, should contain exact set, or should not contain exact set. So this particular thing will be executed. So here you can paste the configuration lines. So when this compliance rule is applied on a device, Network Configuration Manager will check if the lines are present. And since the condition is the configuration should not contain these lines, NCM will send a violation to make you understand that this particular configuration has these lines and they should be removed. You can also provide the number of times you don't want this particular lines to be present. Click on next. You can provide the violation severity, such as critical major warning, and you can associate a remediation configlet to it. So remediation configurants are very useful. Let's say you're a network administrator and you're not able to be physically present in the office. So at that time, if there is a very critical violation, anybody can log in and execute the remediation configlet to avoid that particular situation. So which is why remediation configurants are very useful. So once you provided the remediation configlet, click on save. So moving on to advanced criteria. Advanced criteria gives you an option of having more conditions. This is very useful when you want to search a string that has a variable. So for searching this variable, you can use regular expressions. Here's an example. We are going to search if the enable password is given as secret or not. So let me show this to you in the UI so you'll be able to understand better. Also, let me tell you that you can access the help page in Network Configuration Manager, and we have listed regularly used regular expressions, and this can be handy in case you wish to execute compliance using advanced criteria. So here's an example for advanced criteria, and we can give more than one condition. And you can provide the violation severity, associate a remediation configlet, and click on save. So when Network Configuration Manager searches for a particular configuration for a particular variable, it will search using the pattern which is provided here. So it will make it easier and you'll be able to stay compliant. So let us move on to advanced custom criteria. Advanced custom criteria is used when you only want to check certain parts of configuration file in a network device. A good example is when you want to check the interfaces of a particular router. So typically, a router will have several interfaces in it, and the speed of the router has to be set for it to work well. If the speed is not set, then it's going to be fluctuating. For this reason, you can define certain blocks in a configuration file. So when Network Configuration Manager runs a compliance check, it will check only the blocks that are defined. For example, here you can identify the block start as interface and block end as exclamatory. So usually in a configuration file, an interface starts with the word interface and ends with the exclamatory symbol. So I will show you an example of block criteria. Here, the configuration block start is given as interface, the configuration block end is given as exclamatory. Here, you can provide the additional block criteria such as shutdown. So in that case, when the compliance is being run on devices, it will check for interfaces which are shut down, and it will not apply the compliance to the interfaces which are shut down, which can help you save a lot of time. You can also provide the additional criteria, and after you provide the violation severity and the remediation configlet, you can click on save. So let me tell you, so we've created a lot of rules. So how do you associate these rules? It's very simple, guys. All you have to do is click on the rows which you wish to associate. Here, go to rule groups, click on the plus symbol, and here you can see all the available rules. So you are going to create a rule group. Let us say you're going to create a rule group Cisco, and you wish to add all these rules to the Cisco rule group. So all you have to do is provide a rule group name, description, and click on save. That particular rule group will be added to the network configuration manager. Now you're going to group rule groups into policies. So let's say there are 3 different rule groups and you wish to combine all of them into policies. So for that, all you have to do is click on the plus symbol next to policies, provide a policy name. You can provide a configuration type as running or startup configuration. And if that is a policy violation, you can give one of these checkboxes, that is any rule in this policy is violated, or only if a major or critical rule is violated, you will get a notification. So here you can group the rule groups. So I'm choosing 3 rule groups which I wish to add to this particular policy, and I'm going to click on next. Here you can associate the devices on which you wish to apply the policy. You can also add device groups. Once you click on save, this particular compliance will be executed on the devices which are selected. So let's move on to compliance reports. Compliance reports are very useful because they give you an important detail about how many rules are violated and how many configurations are in sync with the industry standards. So before that, let me tell you how you can see the remediation configlet. So here you can see that this particular policy has been executed on a device. So by drilling down, you can see exactly the description and the remediation configlet. So if you wish to execute a remediation configlet, all you have to do is click the remediation configlet. So yeah, let's go to the compliance reports. So here you can see the number of devices in which there are violations, such as so many violations. The device with violations are 58. So you can drill down to see exactly the kind of policies which are run, which are executed on the devices, and the status of each of these policies. Now let's move on to role-based access control. Role-based access control is in an infrastructure, you will have several network admins, and you will have only a set of scopes defined to each of these admins. Let's say you have an operator in your network, and this operator tries to make a change in a network device that is very critical for the infrastructure. Then the network administrator will receive a notification about the change, and he can choose to approve or reject this particular change. Once the approval or rejection is made, the operator will receive a notification whether the change he made is approved or not. This change made by the operator will not get uploaded until the admin approves or rejects it. So why is it important? This particular app control will give a complete control on who can make what kind of changes, and this will help you keep your network secure. In Network Configuration Manager, you can have RBAC in 2 ways. One is with user management, in which you can give the scope to the user, and this is done using user authentication via local AV and radius used. Also, you can have approval notifications in real time. So I will show this to you. Go to settings, user management. So here you can see all the users in your network environment. And in order to add a new user, all you have to do is click on add user, and you can choose a role. You can assign a role for this particular user. So we are giving operator permission to this user, and the username, password, email ID, click on next. Here you can associate devices to this particular user. Let's say you want to add all devices, then you can just give all device groups to the particular user and click on save. This user will be added successfully. So only admins have the permission to add new operators or new users. Okay, so I'm going to log in as an operator now. So I'm going to provide the username, which I just created. And I'm logging in. So now I have logged in as an operator. So here you can see that Radio 3197 is an operator, and these are the devices which have been associated, which have been given to me. So I'm going to make a particular change in a draft and upload it. So I've chosen a device, and I'm going to make a change to the running configuration. So you can provide a running annotation. And here I'm going to make a change. So I'm going to change the host name into Cisco123. And once I am sure of the host name, I'm going to give the save and upload. So automatically the draft will be saved, and when I click on the upload notification, will be sent to the administrator. So now I have come to the admin login. So here I'm an administrator here, and I'm going to see if I have received any notification which the operator has made. So guys, let me tell you, all the presentation and the other material, training material will be sent to your email ID within 24 hours. So here I've received a notification that this particular user has requested, and here I can view the draft. Here I can see what change has been made, and then if I'm not satisfied with that particular change, all I have to do is provide a comment, not needed, something like that, and click on reject. But if I'm satisfied, I'm just going to give approve. But since I'm not satisfied with the change, I'm just going to give reject. So I've rejected this operator's upload request, and the operator will receive a notification that this particular configuration draft upload has been rejected. So I can go and check why this particular draft upload has been rejected, and I can view the comment section and see why my administrator has rejected it. So let's move on to tools. Network Configuration Manager provides instant troubleshooting with the help of tools. You can use terminal for all kinds of configuration activities. And if you want to check if a particular device is reachable or not, you can use the ping. So let me show you the device. So yeah, here's the UI, and under tools you can see all these tools. So ping tools can be used to check if a device is reachable or not by providing the IP address or the host name. And then there's the address resolver for Mac and DNS. So here's the Mac address resolver, DNS resolver, and then there are SNMP tools, Cisco tools, etc. So these tools are very useful because you can use them for instant troubleshooting activities. So moving on to schedules. With Network Configuration Manager, you can schedule many configuration tasks like configuration backup, generate reports, compliance check, configure execution, startup running configuration, sync, PCI review, etc. So going to the UI, go to settings, schedules, all schedules. So here you can see all the schedules which are existing, and to add a new schedule, click on add. Provide a schedule name and the type of schedule which you want, and you can add the devices on which you wish to execute the schedule. Also, you can receive notifications by providing a mail notification and a subject. You can also get notified if there are discrepancies or if there's any problem. So you can add a schedule time. So hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, and once time scheduling is available. And by clicking on schedule, you can ensure that this particular schedule is saved, and you can execute it by, if you want to immediately execute a schedule, you can do the execute now option. Otherwise, whichever time you provided at that particular time, schedule will be executed. So let's move on to configuration search. So in NCM, we have a feature where we can search for a particular string. And when you search for a string, NCM will show all the results anywhere from a configuration file. So it's very useful, guys. So let's go to the UI, go to the inventory. So in order to search, click on the search icon. Yeah. So here you can search for a string public. A network configuration manager will start searching for the string public and wherever it's present. You can see exactly where this particular string appears in the configuration file. So this word public now appears in this particular device and in the lines 1598 and 1599. So these are very useful because all you have to do is search for a particular, for example, if you think there's an error or something, you just have to type up the keyword and search for it. There's also advanced configuration search where you can give additional criteria such as contains or not contains a particular string, or the line starts with or the line ends with. And there's also and or conditions which you can give. And yeah, so I'll show you an example. So search for two keywords. So while searching, if you wish to stop while a configuration manager is performing the search, all you have to do is click on the stop option. Okay, it's taking quite a lot of time because we've searched for very common phrases and they will be present in a lot of configurations. So I guess we can move on to the next topic, which is exclude criteria. So let me tell you what an exclude criteria is. So let's say in your network environment, network devices are going to be having a timestamp in their configuration file. For example, for each minute, this timestamp is going to keep increasing. So this particular change should not be considered as a change by the network manager. It's going to be stressful if Network Configuration Manager considers this as a change and triggers a backup every time timestamp changes. So if you want certain changes to be excluded from being considered as a change, you can use the exclude criteria option. So go to settings, device management, exclude criteria. So here you can see there are exclude criteria templates, and if you wish to add new exclude criteria, click on add, associate template name, provide the criteria here, and click on save. So here's an example where we want to consider excluding this particular criteria building. So whenever this change building is made, that won't be considered as a change. Next one is alarms. You can trigger alarms to help you keep notified about what's happening in your network. And you can also filter them based on status, severity, and source. So go to the inventory. So here you can see alarms. Here you can see all the alarms and the number of alarms which are under critical, trouble, attention, and service down. So the next one is show commands. So show commands are very useful for troubleshooting, and let me tell you how these show commands are used. Go to settings, click on user management, sorry, devices and device management and show commands. Here you can see all the show commands that is in your network environment. You can add a show command by clicking on add, provide the command alias to vendor name, click on save. So here there's an example for show command where the command is the BigPie platform and the vendor associated to it is F1. You can make edits to it and click on save. So how do you view these commands? So go to the inventory. Let's say you want to see particular path of configuration, you can use three show commands. So click on a device and go to the device snapshot page and click on the menu icon to see the show commands. So here I'm going to see the show command for show version. So here I can see exactly what version this particular device belongs to. You can also export it. So let's move on to reports. Network Configuration Manager provides reports for start running conflict, configuration change, EOL, EOS, and there are a lot of reports, and these are just the important ones. So let me tell you how reports work. Go to reports. Here you can see there are so many reports listed. So there are like inventory report format, inventory report, configuration report, which help you analyze the number of changes which have been made in a particular week. So you can see how many changes have been made in a particular week. And then there are EOS report, which is very important because it gives you updates about the end of life and end of sale about all your devices which are in configuration manager. So I will show you one example in each of these reports. So hardware inventory report gives you hardware details of that particular device. Here you can check the IP address, device type, everything will be listed. And also you can export the report in the form of a PDF. The hardware report you can generate it for a device or a device group. So here you can see this particular device group. You can see the hardware details. Yeah. So yeah. And then there are configuration reports. So configuration change trend report is a very interesting report where you can see the change trend in a particular time period. The number of changes that are authorized, the number of changes that are unauthorized. Yeah. So there is compliance report which we saw earlier. And the user reports which provides access level for all the users. And also EOL EOS report, which is very useful because you can see the EOL end of life for the end of service for the particular device in Network Configuration Manager. You can also request an your DB update. That is an interesting feature in Network Configuration Manager where you can create custom reports. So you can provide your inputs and create a custom report. So you can choose a report type, the number of columns. You can also edit the column names. Yeah. So you can associate devices or device groups, and you can generate reports based on your requirements. So that's all about reports. Network Configuration Manager has a dynamic and a user-friendly UI where the dashboards can be customized and there are device groups and real-time UI, etc. So here you can see the dashboard in Network Configuration Manager. Yeah. So, sorry guys. So you can see the dashboard of Network Configuration Manager. So suppose you're working on certain, certain activities in Network Configuration Manager, you can rearrange it based on whatever you want to see first. So let's say NCM device summary is important, then you can modify it. And once you save it, all these changes will be saved. So when you save it, log out from a geographical location and log in from some other location, the changes will still be retained. So the next one is device groups, and then there are retainable filters also. Okay, so go to inventory. Here you can apply filters by this and you can search for it. Here you can see the filter icon. So you can search for particular devices by giving the device type. You can also search. Also provide the condition here. So yeah, guys, that's all about Network Configuration Manager second part training. So we have a question and answer session coming up, and also before that, let me tell you that you can integrate Network Configuration Manager with Off Manager or Network Performance Monitoring tool. Also, NetFlow Analyzer, a bandwidth monitoring solution. So that's all, guys. So let's go to the question and answer session. And Kanagraj, our device expert, will be able to take you through the question and answer round.
Hi, my name is Kanagraj. I am working this product more than 8 years. In today's session, we got a lot of questions. We have filtered top 10 questions and we are going to answer those questions in this session. Is it possible to schedule a complaints report in Network Configuration Manager? Yes, it's possible. If you create a complaints policy and you can associate a complaints policy to the devices or device group. In this case, in the schedule session, we have an option to schedule the complaints. During the scheduled complaints time, Network Configuration Manager run a complaint check and it will give you the detailed complaints result. How many rules are violated and how many rules are in a complaint. I will show you where you have created the schedules. If you go to settings, all schedules, here you can click add, and here you can provide the schedule name, and here you can select the complaint check, and here you can select the devices, and here you can select the time period. Which time period you want to run a complaint check and get. How the second question is how config draft upload works and can we check the draft for a complaints? Yes, like you have a device, the device having 10 version, you want to edit some of the version, some of the lines in the version number 2, and you can upload the version to the devices. In this case, you can open the version number 2 and you can edit as a draft And here then you can make the changes and you can save the draft, and then you can upload the draft to the device. During the upload time, we are using TFTP or SAP command to upload the draft to the device. Also, you are able to run a complaint check on the draft. I will show you how to edit the draft and how to save the draft and how to run a complaint check on the draft. If you go to inventory, and click on the device, and here open the version number, which version you want to edit as a draft, and here you just click edit as draft, and here you just provide the draft name, and here if you want to change the host name, you just change the host name, and you can save this as a draft, and you can use save and upload options. Once you click save and upload, Network Configuration Manager save this configuration as a draft, and it upload the draft to the device. Once you save the draft, if you go to config details, here you're able to see the draft informations. Here you're able to see the draft. If you want to run a complaint check, you just open a draft and you just click here, and here you can click a complaints, and here you can select the policy, and you can run a complaint check for the particular draft. How to increase the backup schedule running time? By default, if you backing up any configuration file using the schedule backup, it waits for 5 minutes. If the schedule backup takes more than 5 minutes, then we should increase the backup time mode, the schedule backup time mode value from Network Configuration Manager. We have an option in the web interface. I will show you how to increase the schedule backup time mode value. If you go to settings, client server settings, here we have an option. Here you can increase the time mode value. Does the communication between the NCM and the device is encrypted? Yes, if you are using SH protocol to back up the devices, in this case, the communication between the device and the Network Configuration Manager is an encrypted communication. Is it possible to update the iOS version using Network Configuration Manager? Yes, it's possible. We have a configlet feature. You can use the configlet feature to back up the firmware files. Also, you can upload the firmware files to your devices. I'll show you. If you go to settings, here we have a configlet. Network Configuration Manager comes up with a handful of configurers. For Cisco devices, we have inbuilt backup image and upload image. If you need to create the same template for some other device manager like Juniper HP, all you need to do is you just manually connect the device and you just execute the command. Which commands we are using to upload or download the firmware file from the devices? You just execute the command. You just take a snapshot of the entire command execution and send it to our support email ID. Our support email ID is deviceexpert-support@managing.com. Once we get the output, we will help you to create the configurates on your environment. How many configuration files store in NCM? We don't have any limitations to store the configuration file. You can store n number of configuration file in NCM. Is it possible to run a complaint check in the startup configuration? Yes. By default, if you create a complaints rule and if you run a complaints rule, complaint check, the complaint check run on the current running configuration. If you want to run a complaint check instead of running configuration to the startup configuration, yes, it's possible. You need to edit some of the settings. I will show you how to edit the settings. Just go to complaints. And here just click edit. And here you can select the startup configuration and you can save it. From the next complaint schedule, Network Configuration Manager, run a complaint check on the startup configuration and it will give you the result. How the EOL EOS reports work in NCM? We are matching the device series and model number with the vendor website, and we can get the end of sale date and end of support date and update the information in Network Configuration Manager. How can I use the Configlets to block an IP address that is using too much bandwidth in my network? As I said earlier, you can use the Configlet feature to create an access list, and you can save the access list and you can push the access list for multiple devices. These are all the top questions we got it in our today's session. This is our email ID. If you have any questions, you can contact our support email ID, ncm-support@management.com. Also, you can visit our YouTube channel for the technical videos. Also, you can use our public forum to raise your questions. Thanks for joining today's webinar. Hope the webinar session was useful for you. Thank you again. Bye.